All right, hey guys. So I am getting on here today to go over some things that I promised you all that I would come forward with about just sort of how I was feeling a month ago. So a month ago, I was experiencing fatigue, dizziness, nausea with no explained reason, just kind of like had lack of energy, didn't really want to do much. And so I've been working on myself and just working on sort of paying attention to myself and making some adjustments overall to lifestyle, diet, etc., to see kind of like what's going on to maybe see if I can combat some of these symptoms. And one of those things was actually meeting with a nutritionist. And what I did with her is fantastic, by the way. Any need for a nutritionist, let me know. I will hook you up because I found an amazing girl who actually specializes in the gut and some other things, infertility and whatnot. So she's phenomenal. But anyway, let me know if you need that and I will send it to you privately. So she asked that I send her a log of all the food that I was eating for a week. And so I did that. I met with her for the first time and we went over a few things. And some of the recommendations that she gave me just by seeing what I was eating, I mean, it's gonna sound really like, well, no, duh, Nicole, but a lot of us, I think, in this like world where it's like fad diets and like, well, try this and try that, and this is really healthy for you, and this is really healthy for you, and then, well, if you want longevity and this and preventative, you know, you need to be doing these things. And I think that we can get really caught up and it can be a lot of noise. I don't discount that a lot of it is probably really valuable and really helpful, but I think we need to get back to the basics on some of these things. And a lot of you did admit that, hey, I also have those types of symptoms for no explained reason. So with these findings, I wanted to share that in hopes of helping someone else, because these adjustments that I've made, though they are small, they've been monumental in making me feel a lot better. And so first and foremost, again, getting back to basics, but sleep. So as you can see under the feeling like crap category, sleep is super, super important. So we all know that, right? We all know that when we're not sleeping, we're cranky. Our skin looks bad. We just, might have more wrinkles or bags in our eyes. And besides the vanity piece, I mean, you just don't get to be your best self. So first and foremost, sleep. For me, like 7.5 hours, right under 8 hours is perfect. That's the perfect amount of time. If I go over that, I'll feel like crap. If I get too little, I'll feel like crap. So anyway, whatever your sort of number is, you all know what it is, just target towards that. So sleep, water, number 2. So she told me that I should be drinking about 100-ish calories, like 90 to 100 ounces of water per day. So the thing that I was really lacking is I would be drinking coffee and then I hadn't really had like a lot of water in the morning. So I've been actually drinking lemon water first thing in the morning to help really cleanse out sort of like the liver and kind of help in that aspect. And that's part of like the medical medium, which that'll be a topic for another conversation another day. But lemon water in the morning, which is what I've just recently adopted. And then just trying to get as much water in as possible while I'm making my breakfast, while I'm making the coffee. So that's super, super important. And I think that it's also helped with bloating, but we'll get to that in just a second. Anyway, water is super, super important because if you're dehydrated and then you're drinking caffeine, it's just really a recipe for disaster and you're just not going to feel your greatest. So water is number 2. Number 3, exercise. Whoa. So I've always been super athletic, pretty much my entire life. I have always loved exercise. Like I'm not like a runner, let's say. I mean, I have a Peloton and I love my Peloton, but I wasn't really committed like on a consistent basis. And not saying that I didn't care about it. It's just more about like, I wasn't really noticing a difference overall if I did it or if I didn't do it. But truly, if I think back and I think about a long span of time where I wasn't consistently doing exercise, not like oh, I rode the bike one day last week, I'm good, or I went and I weight trained for a day. No. Like consistency. If I think back on a period of time that I didn't have that consistency, more so those symptoms would just pop up. And so my nutritionist also said, hey, if you want to feel better overall, it's not only about like what you're eating, make sure that you're getting that exercise in, and it also combats bloating, which we'll get to that in a second also. And I've been super consistent about this. I have been weight training twice a week. I've been riding the Peloton multiple times a week. If I don't ride the Peloton, I'm out walking the dog, getting my steps in as much as possible. So my point here is every day I just sort of made this goal that I need some form of exercise. And I'm only giving myself one day a week where I'm not doing any exercise, and that's on Sundays. Truly a rest day. But outside of that, it's either high intensity cardio, low intensity cardio, or weight training. Those are sort of like, I'm making sure every day there's something in that. Now, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm just going by what method has sort of worked for me and has really improved. But I think the key here is getting exercise in, no matter what kind it is, just getting something in and setting that intention for yourself and making sure that you're really like paying attention to like that intention. Like, did I get out today? Oh, I didn't. Let me go walk. Don't think that anything is too small. It doesn't have to be this grand exercise routine for you to get a benefit out of it. And I've just noticed too, like getting outside, walking outside, getting that sunshine is really, really helpful. And I didn't put that on the list, but I've been more intentional about getting outside and being in nature. It's like not being contained at home has been really important. So I think that's everything I wanted to say about exercise. Yes. All right, moving on. So the next thing is, which is a good segue, is not only like feeling good is about, okay, did I move my body? Did I, am I putting the right nutrients in the body? Am I getting enough water? That kind of thing. There's another element here that I've really realized. It's what's up here or what's in here. I've been sitting down 5 to 10 minutes in the morning. Not every morning. I'm not going to sit here and say that I do this every morning, but I am pretty consistent about sitting down and just having intentional time to myself. That time changes. Like what I do in that time, there is, there are some days that it's just, I sat down and I read my reading for the day. And I can share what that is another day, another conversation. But I sit down, I have my morning reading, my morning reflection time, and then I have my gratitude journal. I've been doing this for over 2 years. I actually looked at my gratitude journal this morning to see like, oh, when did I start this? And it was from 2020, from May of 2020 when I put my first entry in there. And obviously it's June of 2022. So that's super exciting that I've been consistent with that because it's super important what I've noticed. So making sure that I sit down with myself in the morning. I mean, morning is best for me, at least. It may not be for you, but sit down 5-10 minutes with myself, and it's either I read the morning reflection with the gratitude journal, or it might be just yoga. I have a great yoga routine that I do. It's about 15 minutes. And I sort of like incorporate meditation into that. A soft meditation, I would say. I'm not really like, disconnected from my body. It's just more of like, it's a soft meditation. I'm being very intentional. I'm doing a body scan, positive intentions, really just focusing on my health, my mind, body, spirit health, during that time. And so all that to say, it's just really important that you focus not only on the physical body, but like what's in your headspace. because that's what's really going to drive you to make certain decisions, you know, good, bad, you know, and just caring for yourself is what I've noticed just with that. So really important. That's what I've been doing the last, being really consistent and keeping it in the routine during this last month or so. I think it's been 4 to 6 weeks. The last one is the most important one, regarding the symptoms that I described when I started this video 10 minutes ago. So what I noticed, and going back to what I originally said here, these fad diets, like fasting isn't for everyone. And I mean like extended fasting, like beyond 15 hours. What I've noticed, or what I noticed for me, is I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wake up in the morning, I'm gonna have my lemon water, and then I may have my coffee, but I'm not gonna eat anything until like lunchtime, like noon, 1 o'clock, whatever the time is for lunch. But what I noticed was, you know, obviously the fatigue, the dizziness and all these things, and I didn't realize it until the nutritionist said it to me. She said, you know, be very careful about fasting, like 12 to 14 hours for women fasting, you know, that's the sweet spot. It's not too little, it's not too much. It's just enough time that your digestive tract, your digestive system gets some time to rest and recoup. But it's not so long that you kind of go into this like deficit where your body's like, whoa, what's going on? Like, where is the food? I need some energy. And I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole of explaining that, but you know, you can Google it with fasting, what it does to the body. But anyway, so she said, eat the majority of your calories and your carbs before 2 p.m. So 2 things in that shook my world. Number 1, I was fasting, like I said, until about lunch. Number 2, I was like, oh, you know, I'm gonna eat fewer calories so I can lean out some more. And so I was on this like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, I'm exercising, I'm doing all these things, I'm eating all the right foods, but I'm gonna cut my carbs. I'm gonna cut them back a little bit. And it's like, wow, I was not in the right state of mind. I was sort of treating myself like a guinea pig. Because when I was younger, my body responded super well, very quickly, for how I wanted to lose weight or lean out. Well, I'm not 17 anymore. Let's times that by 2. I'm 34. My body isn't gonna react the same way. And it's not gonna get the same results, and that's okay. I am totally like, my thing is I just don't want to treat myself like a guinea pig anymore. I'm perfectly happy with being 34. I'm perfectly happy with my health, my body, like all these things. But I just want to feel great. And it just no longer was serving me like it had served me in the past. So she said, eat the majority of your calories and your carbs before 2 p.m. and eat carbs. You need to have more carbs. Based on my food log, she noticed you're not eating enough carbs. So I did those things, and I'm telling you, that was the one that really hit home for me and like set me in that good place where I don't have those symptoms anymore. And lo and behold, it's because I wasn't eating enough, and I wasn't eating enough earlier in the day to set myself up for success throughout the day. So like in the afternoon, I would have these crashes where I'm like, oh, I feel so sluggish, I'm tired. Well, it's because I didn't like give my body the resources it needed earlier in the day to keep the engine running. So those were these things really helped, really truly helped me feel my best. And I'm sharper, I'm more alert, I have more energy, I want to do everything. And I can do it all, which is so insane to me. Like I can truly do it. And not feeling fatigued or not like crashing after like 10 minutes into it. So really, really important. Try it. Maybe it'll help you in feeling better. And, you know, I'll save you the nutritionist, you know, if you don't want to expense that and if this is the problem. Anyway, so try those things, see if you feel better. you might be pleasantly surprised. All right, I'm gonna go kind of quick into this one, but second category, talking about bloating. That has been something that I have struggled with for a very long time. Couldn't tell you what was causing the bloat. And it was so frustrating because some days flat stomach, next day looks like I'm 3 months pregnant. I mean, just the difference in the bloating. And so I was like, there's something wrong with the gut. Something's not happy going through the gut. There's an imbalance in the bacteria that's in the gut. Something is going on. Oh, and I didn't write it on there, but I'll write it on there. A probiotic. That was the other thing. So this one's gonna be a shocker, but I had religiously made protein shakes every day because I'm like, I need my protein. I cut it out for 7 to 10 days. Apparently protein powder just isn't great for everyone. And the nutritionist said that. She said that she has the same problem. Something about the processed components of what goes into making the protein powder. Doesn't matter if it's pea protein, which is what I was consuming, whey protein, soy protein, whatever it is, the protein powders. It's just not the best. And if you can, supplement your protein in more natural ways. So I have a couple of things that I'm trying out in that department. Another conversation another day, but I stopped the protein powder. And seriously, in like 5 to 7 days, like she said, the bloat had minimized tremendously and like stayed minimized, not like this inconsistency that was happening before. So no protein powder. Fasting for the 12 hours a day, which I touched on earlier, and that still holds true for the bloating part. That's what helped with that. Avoiding maltodextrin and anything that ends in TOL. So again, this is like gonna be in your processed prepackaged foods, but it's just not great for your body and it bloats a lot of people. And lo and behold, the protein powder that I was consuming had this in it. So helps a lot. All right. Then, so limiting the processed foods, we'll go ahead and talk about number 5, limiting the processed foods overall. And that just is a great segue. There's nothing really a lot more to add there. It's just limiting that. Let's be honest, there's a lot of crap in the food that they allow in the stores, like FDA, like, okay, sure, FDA approved. But what does that mean anymore? I don't know what it means anymore, but anyway, we don't know necessarily what all goes into these processed foods. And so eliminating, if you're gonna be really cognizant about what you're putting in your body, then that's something that you should really pay attention to is the food labels. What I'm noticing is organic will get you away from a lot of these like chemicals, these harsh chemicals that obviously your body is gonna be inflamed from. Like your gut's gonna hate it because there's nothing in there naturally, like enzymes, that's gonna know what it is to break it down. So it's not gonna make it very happy. So, really quickly, so this one was a tough one to like, and it's still tough, but it makes sense, and I do think it's helping with the bloating a lot. But chewing every bite that you bite 15 times, at least 15 times. Typically you should be shooting for like 20 to 25, but I'll tell you, it's like, it's tough. But at least 15 times, chew that food 15 times. That is something that I did not pay attention to ever. And I would just chew things sometimes. Like I'd be so hungry that I would just like, which is like kind of all the time. Like I'm hungry all the time. And then, so if it's dinner time or lunchtime, I'm like so hungry, I'm ready to eat. And I'll just like, I would inhale the food. And I would sometimes chew like 1 or 2 times and then I was already swallowing the food. It's like, well, no wonder your body has to work extra hard. More enzymes have to be like building up to be able to break that food down. But if you kind of do the job like halfway for your body by chewing like what your mouth and your teeth are for, it's going to help with that digestion also. And from what the nutritionist explained is that your body actually releases enzymes when your jaw moves. So the more your jaw moves, the more enzymes your body is going to produce to break down that food. So, and then last but not least is a probiotic. So I kind of like abandoned this one a few months ago. I was like, I don't know if it's working. I'm still bloated. But then, not incorporating these other changes, of course I was still bloated. Like, a probiotic's not gonna be like a miracle worker all by itself. So I incorporated that back into my diet, and I'll tell you, I really do think it's working. I've got my husband on the male ones also. Not to be an ad or anything. I'm not gonna be an ad, but this is the one that I'm taking. So at least 90 billion live cultures is what the recommendation was. Obviously the one that has to be refrigerated is super important. And then this is the one that I got my husband, and he actually had to go through a round of antibiotics last month, and he's like, I think it wrecked my body, which of course it did. It's like stripping all that bacteria, even good bacteria. Antibiotics they don't know what's good versus bad bacteria, going after just the bad and leaving the good. Like, that's not how this works. So if you go through a round of antibiotics, it's super important that you make sure that you replenish the good. So again, I'm not a nutritionist myself, I'm not a doctor, none of those things, but I am working towards better health for myself, and kind of gathering up all this good information in a way that maybe I can share it with someone else, and someone else can share with, hey, I'm also experiencing those similar symptoms. And if I can help someone also without having to treat themselves like a guinea pig or running around like a crazy person, this person, because that's what I've been doing. If I can save someone else from doing that, then I'm here for it. Like, I've always sort of had this passion with health and fitness, and feeling good. That's what's really, really important, is just feeling your best. Because if you're not your best, like, what's the freaking point, right? So life's way too short to feel like crap for things that you can easily change, right? So it's worth a shot. But thank you for watching this very long video. Hope something useful came out of it for you. And I will have other topics soon. All right.